too trad for him. Oh man! All right, so why don't you bring up the Italy's and Catholics diminish in number and no longer know their faith?
Okay.
So this is actually an article from the SSPX, and Anthony Stein. I grabbed the article from one of his videos. So if you guys aren't subscribed to, what is it? Return to Tradition is his channel.
Yes.
I think that's his channel. So yeah, he does great news stories every day. You know, not much commentary to him. He just kind of gives you the story, and I enjoy his channel. So Italy is full of splendid churches that are emptying. Christianity has become a clear minority in Italy. This is revealed by a new Maxi demographic survey carried out by the monthly Timon, or whatever. All right. Not only are
You're
there,
Italian and you don't know how to pronounce that?
I can, but I mean, it's going to come out like New York Guinea. It's not going to come out like real Italian. Not only are there few practicing Catholics, but many of them are unaware of the most rudimentary elements of the faith. More than a third of the Italian population, 37%, declare themselves non-believers, while those who declare themselves believers and Catholics those who declare themselves believers and Catholics who attend Mass represent only 13% of the total population. According to the study, this is a dwindling minority composed of a few young people and older faithful. This may be what Our Lady of La Salette meant by Rome will lose the faith, right?
Could be.
It's not.
Could have been geographically, yeah.
Right, yeah, like Rome will lose the faith, right? Among those who declare themselves as believers and say they go to Mass at least once a month, only 33% of Catholics confess at least once a year, while 32%, this is out of people who go to Mass. People who go to Mass, 33% or less confess once a year. 32, you're not following the 5 precepts of the church. That means they're not even Catholic in good standing, even though they're going to Mass. While 32% do not know the meaning of the Eucharist, which is pretty shocking.
That's actually better than American statistics.
Yeah, we're 30%, right?
Well, that was of all people saying they're Catholic. I think polls done of people who go to Mass, it's still higher. Like 50% of Americans don't believe in the Eucharist.
The other data contained in the study published are equally discouraging for the future of the church. In fact, fewer than 6 in 10 practitioners know what confession is. Wow.
Fewer than 6 in 10 know what it is?
Know what it is. Fewer than 6 in 10. That means only 40% of Catholics know what confession is. 66% of practitioners are wrong about or unaware of the definition of the resurrection of the body. And that's not all. Since 20% think that sin is a simple wrong done to others. Wow. Dude, this is bad. On the other hand, on ethical issues from abortion to gay marriage, practitioners have a de facto secularized vision, even if there is a clear opposition of believers to surrogacy and the illegalization of drugs. Prayer remains a widespread practice. 1 in 5 believers say they pray every day, and 96%.
But even that's not widespread. 20%, only 20% pray every day?
No. 20%, yeah. Say they pray every day. 96% do so at least from time to time. Meanwhile, 7 in 10 who go to Mass believe in the existence of the devil. So, okay, and a lot of that prayer is centering prayer during yoga, I bet. Like when people say they pray, like they're not doing mental prayer. They're maybe not even the rosary. Like they're just, oh God, thank you for this, or please help him with it. Like 90% of people's prayers are prayers for supplication, and like they're not.
It's not Thanksgiving. It's not.
Yeah, it's like do this for me and thank you for this.
Right.
Having a musical guest to start the show is genius. Okay, so these figures are similar to those of the sociological survey published in 2021 by the Italian Episcopal Conference, which also reported a decrease in weekly attendance at Mass from 31% in 95 to 22% in 2020. That's less than America. Religiosity thus continues to lose the element of participation in Sunday Mass, down 9% from 95 to 2020.
That's more than America.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the people that go to Mass is more than America.
How many percentage of Catholics go to Mass?
12 to 15 after
in America.
COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about 20%.
And it never bounced back?
It was about 20% before COVID, and it's been 12 to 15% since.
This is the total collapse of the church. Like, we're looking at a complete collapse, man. This is crazy. So now, so this is not even factoring in the amount of, like, the percentage of that we went down in baptisms, right? So it's like, we're talking about just people who claim to be Catholic.
Yeah.
Like, that still identify as Catholic, which is crazy because, like, we've lost so many people who even get baptized in the faith anymore. This study shows the loss of the Catholic sense, the origin of which lies in the profound ignorance of the faith among the Italian population in general, and even among practicing Catholics. This ignorance has its origin not only in the secularization of society, but also in a rupture and transmission, the origin of which is dated back to the mid-1960s. It really, like, I understand it wasn't just the council, but man, that council, man, that council did damage.
Right, because we both agree, like, the council is not the origin of the issue. No. The council was an attempt to right the ship, but instead, I think it could be pretty easily argued that it sunk the ship. But it's not the cause.
Yeah,
of the storm itself.
I agree. Wait, didn't somebody tell us this on our show? Who was our last guest?
Who was that? We just talked. Was it Kennedy?
Kennedy. Yep, Kennedy. Kennedy told us that. That's right. Okay. So even independent and often non-believer sociologists are able to say, write, and demonstrate it. It is only the men of the church who do not see it and persist in a suicidal attitude for Catholicism, the responsibility for which they bear on their shoulders. But if they count on the World Synod to restore things, they are laboring under an astounding illusion. Listen, this is you want to see what the outcome of the synod's going to be? Look to the Anglican Church. Look to the Anglican Church. Like, why are we following in the footsteps of the Anglican Church? It has literally decimated the faith in England. Like, you guys don't realize how lucky we are that we have a Bishop Sample, that we have a Bishop Strickland, that we still have Paprocki, like that we still have a few bishops in America.
That we even have Barron.
Yeah. Listen, Barron catches a lot of grief. That I think Barron believes the faith, though. Like, he believes the faith. Like, he has a very von Balthasar-y way of looking at hell, and I disagree with him 100% with that. But he believes the faith, right? Like, he does have the desire to evangelize. That's the whole point of Word on Fire. He's trying to bring people into the church. He's doing what he can. What? What did I miss?
Don starting a rumor.
What did Don say?
Hold on. It's going to load in a second.
Oh, boy. I was a Barron fan.
Yep. Ever since Barron moved to Minnesota,
I'm just trying to be fair, right? Like, first off, you do no good by bashing bishops. Like, you just don't. Like, whatever. I mean, the bad ones, whatever. But, like, Barron's he's not an enemy of the church. He's an enemy of the liturgy. He's an enemy of some things, but he's not an enemy of the church. The guy, I
think he operates in good faith. I'll say that.
I do too. I want to be fair to people, and I don't want to be that channel that just goes and bashes people. So the thing is, like, we still do have some good bishops. They don't have that in England anywhere. Like, none. There's not a single one. And the few that would have spoken up under Benedict are done. Like, they got told shut up, and they have shut up. And I heard that from Gavin Ashenden on his Catholic Unscripted episode when they were talking about the synod last episode. Like, he was the one that said that. I'm not just making that up. He's in England, and he's like, it's beyond
any of the decent bishops or even higher standing bishops, right? That they did have come over in the last few years.
Wait, I'm sorry. Father Dave Nick sent me something. I thought it was an article and it was a video, so I thought we were going to read it. Wait, what'd you say?
I was just saying any of the good, so-called bishops or priests that they have had have come back to Rome in the last couple of years.
Really?
Yeah, there's been a few. I mean, there was just one announced within the last week, an Anglican bishop.
Oh, Anglicans converted. Coming to Rome. Yeah.
Now
that guy, so the thing is, like, man, like, all right. So we were going to ask Gavin and Calvin Robinson on the same episode. Like we were going to, and should I say this? What Gavin said?
I never know what you're going to say. That's the problem. Gavin cautioned us.
Yeah. So basically, he said, "Look, I don't mind. I'll come on with Calvin." He goes, "But it will get contentious because Calvin actually thinks he's Catholic, but he's not." And it's like, and we're going to get Calvin on, so I don't want this to ever be like us. But it's like, you know, he talks like a Catholic, which is why so many people are shocked. It's like, Calvin, why are you not becoming Catholic? You talk like a Catholic. You're praying your rosary. You're reading Thomas Aquinas. You're doing all these things. Like, why are you not Catholic? He's like, I am Catholic. It's like, no, dude, you're not Catholic. So it's you know, he just cautioned. He said, look, I'll come on, but it might get contentious because I can't, like, I'll never call him Father Calvin. Like, it's just, I'm not going to. He's not, you know, and he had a good point. So,
and Gavin also said, like, Calvin's gone through a lot of struggles to get the ordination that he has gotten. Why would
and he's not a priest either. He's a deacon. He's a transitional deacon.
Yeah. But why would he threaten that and go through, you know, more trouble when he thinks he is Catholic already?
Right. So it's like what Gavin Ashenden went through. If you guys never watched our first interview with Gavin, he told us like what he went through when he tried to get ordained. Like he tried to become a Catholic priest. Is that a packet of reports I see in Rob's room?
Oh man.
So he told us the story of what happened when he went to get ordained, and it was like what they put that man through. He just said whatever.
You could tell it to this day, it still really hurts him.
Oh yeah, 100%. But he also will say, like, okay, I know that these things are happening in the Catholic Church and they're mimicking the Anglican Church, but this is the church to save. Like, this is where you bring the fight. You bring the fight to save the Catholic Church. This is the only church you can save.
Yep.
It's the church that Christ instituted. This is the one we have to save. So, like, even before this show, Rob had said to me, he's like, I'm just so done with the eschatology stuff. Like, it's just, I don't care about the end time stuff anymore. It's like we could get caught up in curiosity and it could be dangerous, right?
It's never been my cup of tea.
Yeah. So where I actually do find it a little exciting. And so it's like, I feel like what we're coming up on is something where it's like, we have to figure out what we're going to do. Right. Like we made the decision to actually start talking about these things, and not eschatology. I'm saying just the problems in the church, right? Like we've decided, like, okay, we can't pretend up is down anymore. And when something happens, we'll address it. We'll try to be as respectful as we can, but we're going to talk about these things, right?
Yeah. And you can only show so many snuff videos on the channel before it becomes more prudent to just talk about the stuff happening in the church.
It's like, yeah, but we also don't want to be drama merchants, right?
No,
no. Like, we don't ever want to be drama merchants. So it's like, it's a tight balance. Like, you really do have to, you know, figure out how you want to do things. So then
see, I'm not the only one, Aunt. Samantha says
thank you, Rob. No more doomsday talk. I've got
talk.
enough to worry about avoiding groceries, being a good man, good mom. So listen, we'll only discuss those things if, like, an exciting guest comes on that knows his stuff. Like, I don't
like. I shouldn't say I'm not like yeah, the discussions can be intellectually stimulating and connecting them to typology and the past is fun and interesting, stuff like that. But in the end, I think you would agree with this 100% too, Anthony. But in the end, it's not going to affect how I live my life or raise my family.
Right.
Right. Whether the world ends tomorrow or 2,000 years from now, I'm not going to know it either way, and I just got to live my life. Aliens.
Don's wife's like a prepper, and like she's like, do you guys watch EWTN, The Journey Home? I've seen so many Journey Home episodes, Tom. Yeah, that's Don's
By the way,
wife's.
This is Don's wife's website, so go please check it out.
Yes. I've watched so many Journey Home episodes. I actually reached out to Marcus Grodi's son, John Grodi. John Mark Grodi, to see if he wanted to come on. That was when he just started taking over for his father, and he said, "Listen, I'm really busy right now. Maybe give me a few months." And so maybe I'll reach back out to him and see if he wants to come on, because the Journey Home was so pivotal in my conversion. Like, I loved hearing Protestants' conversion stories. Like, it taught me so much about the faith.
I've since coming back. I've listened to a lot of them too. I mean, of course, it's, you all can guess like the first conversion story I listened to, right? It's of course Scott Hahn.
I mean, was it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost everyone's first conversion story that catches. But so I love listening to them too, and I don't know why, because I'm a cradle Catholic, and even when I wasn't practicing, I still believe. I never left. I don't know.
Yeah, I think for me it was like hearing the cost, right? Like, I still love a good conversion story. That's why I'm going to ask Keith Nestor about his conversion story, right? I asked Joshua Charles about his.
You want to hear John Henry Weston's conversion story?
I want to hear John Henry Weston's. I love a conversion story, because you always like to see, like, first off, as a Protestant convert, like, you're leaving everything. You're leaving sometimes your job, sometimes you're leaving your family, sometimes your wife doesn't come along with you. It's like it's just so contentious to be.
It is it'd be so most of the Protestant to Catholic conversion stories you hear, they do tend to be like Protestant pastors converting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's kind of a selection bias where those are the ones that are most interesting and they're the ones that get the most traction. Or is there really like a disproportionate number of Protestant pastors that convert compared to, just your in the folding chair Protestant?
So the Journey Home, the Coming Home Network was set up to help Protestant pastors, because Marcus Grodi was a Protestant pastor, and he's like, if there are Protestant pastors out there, like, they need to know they can figure something else out. Maybe we'll help them get a book deal. Maybe we'll help them, we'll help them integrate their life to becoming Catholic. And so, I mean, Taylor Marshall was on there. I mean, everybody what's funny is like those Protestant converts of the 80s and 90s, the Stephen Ray, and I mean, it's so many of them are the reason we know our faith so well, because they put such great catechetical stuff out, because they read their way into the church through the fathers, and the Catholic Church was not putting anything out like that. It's like, so you saw the big hoopla on hoopla. Who says hoopla? You saw the big fiasco. What the hell is wrong with me? I just said hoopla.
Old timey talk with Anthony Abate, folks.
I just said hoopla. All right. Anyway, there was a big ordeal on Twitter the other day because
golly, Anthony.
I had to turn Matt Pratt off the other day because he says golly, and I'm like,
especially in his accent, it's just like,
stop. I had to turn him off, and I love Matt's show, Matt, especially if he has a good guest on. But he's like, golly, I'm like, all right, enough, like, settle down, golly. So all the speakers at the Eucharistic Congress are basically Franciscan guys, right? So you got like Father Mike Schmitz, you got all the, and the Where Peter Is crowd was going nuts over it. It's like, oh, they think it's still 2013.
Father Mike's a Franciscan guy.
Who?
Father Mike, he didn't go to Franciscan, I don't think.
No, but he's with that crowd. Like, he is.
You mean he's like a conservative?
Maybe they should have said like Lighthouse Catholic Media crowd. Like they did pick a very. Why don't you pull that up? See who's speaking at the Eucharistic Congress. Maybe we could find that. So like the Where Peter Is crowd, it was the typical guys. It was Mike Lewis, C.W. Lafferty, and all those guys. They're all like, the bishops think it's still 2013, and I don't know why these are the people that they're choosing.
DW? You mean the guy that had the fetish about the?
Yeah. He said, all right. So maybe we could get into that because we never got into that last week. I can't. Gee whiz, everyone's making fun of me. I'm rightfully so. You guys are making fun of me. And Jeff Cavins has one of my favorite talks on Lighthouse was a fan or follower of Jesus, right? Like he had that talk. It was like, are you a fan or are you a follower? And he really, it was, I mean, those guys, they taught me. Okay, so let's see. You got Barron, Father Mike Schmitz, Chris Stefanik. Like these are very Franciscan speakers. But I don't know why they got Katie Prejean in there. Why are they not happy about that? Who else? Scroll up anymore? Let's see. Yeah, it's like 3 people. I don't know what they make it. I mean, that's the only ones I recognize, right? Do you recognize anybody else? Like that Katie Prejean McGrady, she's like a leftist. She's like Dawn Eden, basically. I don't know what they're getting mad at, but I guess they saw Father Mike, Bishop Barron, and Chris Stefanik on there, and they were having a hissy fit.
I just realized my mic was muted through that whole thing.
Why would you say?
I was just saying, like, Katie McGrady rails against the death penalty. Like you said, she's basically a left Cath.
She's Dawn Eden.
Huh?
She's like Dawn Eden. Like
almost, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've served mass for Bishop Cousins when he was a priest, but this isn't even like a really conservative lineup.
Go to the bottom. Go to the way bottom. The last that okay. So no, the bishop there. So he's the new bishop in the Bronx. He's the new auxiliary bishop in New York.
Okay. Now,
I actually like him.
Is Father is he one of the Franciscans in New York too? He's on EWTN, isn't he? As one of the like 3.
He might be, yeah. So you served mass for Cousins?
Yeah.
How was he?
I mean, solid, I would say. Pretty good.
Yeah, the bishop on the new auxiliary bishop for New York is solid too. Like he's very Novus Ordo bishop, like he's not a traditionalist or anything, but I mean, at this point, you just want guys who believe the Catholic faith and preach the Orthodox faith. Like if you could get a priest or a bishop who's not talking about rainbow issues in a positive light, it's like, oh, we love the guy. It's crazy. Yeah. Michael Lofton was on the journey home. Then afterwards, he left the church and became Ortho. Probably the only time that happened. I'm not going to talk about it.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. The Albany debacle. What's the Albany debacle?
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know the Albany debacle.
I feel like I've heard something about it, but I didn't read it.
So, like Father Mike Schmitz, like I listen to his homilies every week on the way to mass with my kids. My kids love him.
Yeah.
My kids love him. I mean, he's got a great way of explaining things. He's just,
oh, yep. That's right.
The old bishop got married.
One of the former bishops was asking to get laicized so he could get married. They didn't grant laicization, so he went and had a ceremony. As they put it, he attempted marriage, and now they might actually laicize him for it.
Well, he should be excommunicated.
Yeah, but we don't do that anymore. Remember,
not even laicized. That should be excommunicated. Like that, you're not Catholic anymore. How do you? I don't know. How old is the guy?
He's older.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Is it that important?
I didn't read the article, so I'm wondering if it's even. Did he try to marry a woman? Because that's
a good question.
That's not even a given these days.
No, and the thing is, if it's not a woman, then I understand why he did it. But if it is a woman,
they're saying he's 84.
Come on, dude. Come on.
You only have like 10 more years to just live out your vocation.
There's no way. You know what? He was probably already having an affair, and he just
I'm sure
he didn't want to live a lie anymore. I mean, that's how these people justify it. It was his caretaker. He's probably 60. He's probably got a ton of money, and she's like, oh,
yeah, a ton of our, not our, like I'm not in Albany, but a ton of Albany's money.
Yeah. And then you want